Right now at 6, the city of Joplin holds a news conference to discuss storm damage and cleanup.
And we have an alert day today for more strong to severe thunderstorms already getting going this morning and more expected over the next hour or so. We'll have the latest coming up.
Plus, the city of Carthage has another mess to clean up just weeks after a previous storm damaged the city square.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. So we have an alert day today. Strong to severe thunderstorms possible again, and they're starting to fire up. So let's start with the Skywatch Storm Tracker. And we've got one thunderstorm right now into the far northern fringes of our area. And you can see that it does now have a severe thunderstorm warning associated with it. So I'm going to adjust the radar position. This is for quarter-size hail in Anderson County. And this runs until 6:15 this morning. This storm moving northeast at 55 miles an hour. And one thing I want to show you is I'm going to change a setting here on this radar. Take a look at what this started at just 30 minutes ago. 30 minutes ago, it was that little shower southwest of Garnett, and within half an hour, it flared up rapidly. So what we are now watching for is additional development across parts of southeastern Kansas this morning as we've got instability rolling into the area and moisture filling into southeastern Kansas. We're expecting more storms to fill in across southeast Kansas within the next hour or so, and these are going to very rapidly become strong to severe out there. And unfortunately, all severe hazards are possible with these storms, and we're looking at more than one round of strong to severe thunderstorms. The first round this morning, and we do have an elevated tornado risk with the enhanced risk just barely clipping Dade County at this point. Hopefully it stays that way. And then we've got an elevated to enhanced hail and wind risk. These hash marks indicating the possibility of hail 2 inches in diameter or larger. And these hash marks mainly into Missouri indicating the possibility of winds 75 miles an hour or greater out there. Quick look at temperature. So we have that southeast wind. We've got this flow. We've got this system. An upper level system, that's what's bringing in the moisture, the instability into southeastern Kansas. So yeah, temperatures aren't that warm. They don't have to be. As long as we've got the fuel for the fire, that's all that we need, and that's what's building into place. Check out Parsons now, up to 65, same in Chautauqua, 70 in Veneta right now. So we're going to keep an eye on these storms as we go through the morning. Kids getting on the bus, we're expecting more thunderstorms out there, 67, south breeze about 10 to 20. Then, like I said, we have 2 rounds. The second round is looking to be a little more isolated and confined mainly into southwest Missouri, but there will be a pause in activity this afternoon. Partly cloudy, southwest breeze gusting to 30, 77 when the bus brings them home. Highs today, upper 70s, near 80. Will be breezy with those winds gusting up to 30. And then we'll see that second round about 4 o'clock or so, again, mainly into Missouri, and by about 7, it's out of here and we'll start to clear out and we'll finally get a more extended break from the thunderstorm. So again, we do have that severe thunderstorm warning in Anderson County. We'll keep an eye on that, expecting more development through the morning. And of course, we'll keep you updated with any additional thunderstorms or potential warnings out there. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. The city held a storm response press conference yesterday to address the damage and cleanup efforts. According to Joplin city officials, crews were out at full force Monday night and are still assessing the damage. The fire chief says crews went to 81 locations to assess the damage Monday night, and they say additional crews were called in. Some residents spent the day cleaning up and dealing with the aftermath of the storm.
We got nervous and everything, and then we finally decided wasn't anything we could do then because we had no electricity. And I had a spell with my heart. I couldn't get 911. It rang and no one answered.
We were more concerned about taking care of the water damage than anything because it was coming in pretty good in the house and we didn't want the house to be flooded. But then this morning when we came out and saw the outside of the damage, we were surprised that so much had been damaged on the outside of the house.
No injuries were reported, and according to Liberty, 7,200 locations in Joplin lost power during the peak of the storm. The area also lost 50 power poles that will have to be replaced. Well, since daybreak yesterday, Duquesne, Missouri residents have also been cleaning up the mess left by the storm. Power lines were scattered along yards, and residents used chainsaws to cut up fallen trees and clear neighborhood roads. Some say cleanup is going to take weeks, but they're working together.
Yeah, this is the tree. I looked out my window as I saw it like lightning and stuff, and I heard the noise. I looked out real quick. I saw it and it kind of picked up and just fell down, and I saw like that, and it came down with the power line. But it's kind of scary, and that's when I ran and got my mom.
The mayor of Duquesne says the damage must reach a certain amount before the town can be eligible for disaster relief. So now citizens are left to their own devices to clean up the aftermath. And just weeks after Carthage saw damaging winds, residents are once again cleaning up storm damage. Monday night storms brought down trees across the area, many of which fell onto roadways, cars, and even homes. The Carthage Water and Electric Plant says the storms also caused extensive damage to their system. Crews have been out addressing down power lines across the area. The Carthage School District canceled classes yesterday due to power outages and storm damage. And once it moved past our area, the storms caused damage in Willard, Missouri, near Springfield. The National Weather Service also reports an EF0 tornado tracked from just northwest of Willard to the northeast before lifting near Fair Grove. Maximum winds hit 80 miles per hour, and that tornado left one person injured and damaged 2 homes. The small community of Barnsdall, Oklahoma, north of Tulsa, was left devastated after a tornado ripped through the town. Authorities say at least one person is dead and 2 others are unaccounted for. Roads into town have been closed as search and rescue efforts continue. Corey Duke has a look at the damage.
As the sun began to blanket Barnsdall Tuesday morning, the extent of Monday night's presumed tornado was welcomed with silence. Most residents evacuated overnight as crews worked to fix gas leaks and repair downed power lines. The ones who stayed asked to shelter in place.
There are several homes destroyed, completely leveled. We've got significant damage in a large area. We've got some damage in rural areas.
Mayor Johnny Kelly says they're estimating 30 to 40 homes demolished. All roads into town closed as Oklahoma Highway Patrol officials continue search and rescue efforts for those unaccounted for. The storm claiming 1 life.
This is a small community. I know 75 to 80% of the people in this town. The individual that we lost, I knew him very well, and it's pretty tough.
The electric infrastructure taking a big hit, leaving the town in the dark as more than 30 crews work to restore power.
We have those hazards, nails, debris, whatever you want to call it, it's there. Obviously, we have people going away, and unfortunately, our first responders are getting taken out of here as well.
OHP says 1 firefighter suffered chest pain and needed treatment, along with 7 or 8 injured residents. Meanwhile, Barnsdall nursing home residents are being dispersed to new facilities after the building took a direct hit. I spoke to the director about the damage.
We did lose the roof off of 2 rooms and then half of another room.
Fortunately, no one was hurt.
The National Weather Service confirms Barnsdall was hit by a tornado and gives it a preliminary rating of an EF4. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, we're learning more about a shipment of ammunition from the United States to Israel that was paused last week. Plus, Trump is accused of falsifying business records to hide payments made to Stormy Daniels ahead of the 2016 election. And Chris Warner returns with another look at your Wednesday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Protection with style.
Service. See Smith Cycle Center in Pittsburgh. What are you waiting for?
Well, topping Nation Watch this morning. If you're planning on flying around the country next year, you may need to hear this. The Department of Homeland Security says its 2025 Real ID deadline for new licenses is real this time. Originally, the deadline was in 2020, but that was pushed back. You have until May 7th, 2025 to make your state-issued driver's license or identification Real ID complaint. If you fail to do so, you won't be able to board flights or access federal facilities. Enhanced driver's license only issued by Washington, Michigan, Minnesota, New York, and Vermont are considered acceptable alternatives to Real ID complaint cards. We're learning more about a shipment from ammunition from the United States to Israel that was paused last week. The shipment includes 1,800 bombs weighing 2,000 pounds and 1,700 bombs weighing 500 pounds. According to a U.S. official, it was withheld over concerns about their potential use in a Rafah incursion. The official said the devastating impact of the 2,000-pound bombs is the biggest concern, especially on a densely populated area. Israeli leaders have warned for weeks that an invasion of Rafah will occur at some point in the future, where more than 1 million civilians are sheltering. The U.S. and others have publicly stated that such a ground operation should not occur. Adult film star Stormy Daniels took the stand and gave what was at times very salacious details of her alleged sexual encounter with Trump nearly 2 decades ago. Trump is accused of falsifying business records to hide payments made to Daniels to keep her silent ahead of the 2016 election. Trump denies the affair and has pleaded not guilty to the charges. CBS News' Jared Hill has more on how the day unfolded from New York.
A very revealing day.
Former President Donald Trump due back in court tomorrow for day 2 of potentially explosive testimony from adult film star Stormy Daniels in his Manhattan criminal case. Under oath on the witness stand yesterday, Daniels recalled the details of their alleged 2006 sexual encounter, which Trump has denied. Daniels testified that Trump invited her to his hotel suite in Lake Tahoe. She said she asked Trump about his wife, Melania, and he said, quote, "Don't worry about it. We actually don't sleep in the same room." Daniels also said she wanted to share her story 10 years later, but was afraid, adding that she took the $130,000 payment from Trump's former lawyer, Michael Cohen, to stay quiet.
Everything in this case is designed to get to Michael Cohen's testimony. He is really the only person that we know of who could give direct evidence about Donald Trump's involvement.
In cross-examination, Trump's lawyers questioned Daniels' motives, asking if she hates the former president, to which she responded yes. They asked if she wants Trump to go to jail. Her response, if he's found guilty, absolutely.
This whole case is just a disaster.
Trump seemed visibly frustrated during Daniels' testimony, which drew multiple objections from his lawyers. The defense asked for a mistrial, accusing prosecutors of trying to embarrass the former president. The judge denied the motion, but acknowledged, quote, "There were some things that are probably better left unsaid." Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
There were also new developments in former President Trump's Florida federal case regarding the alleged mishandling of classified materials at his Mar-a-Lago home. Judge Eileen Cannon announced that she is officially postponing the trial indefinitely. It was originally scheduled to begin later this month. And that's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got strong to severe thunderstorms possible today. We've already got this pretty potent cell in our far northern counties, so we have severe thunderstorm warnings for Anderson and Lynn counties. In fact, the Anderson County warning just dropped off. It was set to expire right now. This one continues for portions of northwestern Lynn County until 6:30. This storm moving to the northeast at about 55 miles an hour with quarter-size hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds. But the more impressive thing about this is when we backed this up just about 45 minutes ago, all that was a shower. And it very rapidly intensified and grew. And we're also, take a look at this little thunder shower just near Moran and east of Iola, starting to go up out there. And we are expecting additional development across parts of southeast Kansas as we go through the morning. These storms expected to become strong to severe rather rapidly as well. We'll have another full look at your forecast here in just a few minutes on the KOAM Morning News.
The finishing test.
Dental and Dentures in Jay, Oklahoma.
Ashley, this is home.
In Illinois, forestry employees are helping the public prepare for an impending invasion of cicadas, pretending to be cicadas. They strike comedy gold, reenacting the life cycle of cicadas, and they emerge from the soil, court, and lay eggs. People are calling the viral video both educational and unhinged. Jeannie Moose has the buzz.
It's the next best thing.
You have the same block out of this, or are you gonna take a break? Okay.
To having a cicada crawl on you.
Oh my God.
To prepare Illinois residents for the thrumming, 17-year cicada invasion that's about to occur.
And emerge when the temperatures are right. It's roughly around 64 degrees soil temperature.
Employees from the DuPage County Forest Preserve.
And they will crawl out of their exoskeletal shell.
Recreated the life cycle of cicadas.
Their wings become this really bright orange.
Complete with red eyes and cardboard and cellophane wings.
The males will go crawl up to the tops of the trees and start singing to attract mates.
Jennifer Radzewski played the lead female cicada in a video she describes as
really cheesy and, kind of low quality, but intentionally so.
She will flick her wings at him and they will mate.
The video went viral. This is Cicada Gold, educational and unhinged. Everyone's favorite part was an insect pickup line, ad-libbed by a ranger named Smokey.
Say, girl, if I was a fruit fly, I'd land on you first because you're so sweet.
The female lays eggs on a branch, kisses them goodbye. They hatch, portrayed with dazzling special effects.
What was your whole budget for this thing?
Basically $0.
They snack on tree sap, then fall back to earth.
They'll start burrowing into the ground,
where they feed on plant roots. 17 years later, they reemerge. The only thing missing?
You guys didn't reenact the mating.
No, we kind of skipped right over that part.
A cicada rom-com, minus the sexy parts. Jeannie Most, CNN, New York.
I'd land on you first because you're so sweet.
And then
all right, well, here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
The cicada invasion, something to keep an eye on, but you going to be okay? All right, Lisa's doing all right. So we are continuing to watch. We do have an alert day today. Strong to severe thunderstorms expected over southeastern Kansas. No longer any warnings in our immediate area, but this storm lifting off to the northeast at about 55 miles an hour. And take a look at this little shower here north of Moran, going up pretty quick as well. And we got to keep an eye on any additional showers that form with more thunderstorms expected through the morning. We'll have another look at your forecast, break down these severe chances when we come back.
Spend your Thursdays at everybody's favorite little
with people to live healthier lives.
All right, welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 623 coming up on 624. We have an alert day today for strong to severe thunderstorms. Instability levels increasing rather rapidly across southeastern Kansas. That's where we're expecting storm initiation. So we did have this guy flare up very quickly in Anderson County. Did have some severe thunderstorm warnings in our immediate area. Do not have that now. This warning just outside of our areas. This storm lifts off to the north and east at about 55 miles an hour. One thing I want to show you, though, is how quickly this thunderstorm developed. So we're going to back this up to about 5:30. Just a shower, if you look close, right southwest of Garnett at 5:30. And within half an hour, it flared up, went severe, and is lifting out there. Now, the other concern is additional developments. So take a look at this storm near Moran. It's a little shower at about 6 o'clock, flared up pretty quickly. We're also keeping an eye on this shower near Ellsmore and Savonburg. As it flares up, and we are expecting additional development across southeastern Kansas as we go through the morning. And as noted by that storm, we're expecting them to rapidly intensify and become strong to severe. That's why we have an alert day today, because we have that threat for additional severe weather. All hazards are possible. Right now, we have this low to elevated tornado risk kind of clipping parts of southeast Kansas. So Pittsburgh, Columbus, Baxter Springs, and into northeastern Oklahoma. And then we have an elevated risk across a good portion of Missouri, and that enhanced risk just barely clipping Dade County. Then we have an elevated to enhanced hail and wind risk. The hash marks indicating the possibility of very large hail, 2 inches in diameter or greater, and that does stretch into parts of southeastern Kansas. And then the elevated to enhanced wind risk, with those hash marks indicating the possibility of winds 75 miles an hour or greater. We're also anticipating 2 rounds of thunderstorms today. Our first round this morning. Now, these are going to be scattered. It's not like the other day with a squall line of storms where everybody gets something. These are going to be scattered. Not everybody will see thunderstorms today, but those that do will have that possibility of seeing severe weather. By noon, these scattered storms starting to wrap up. We'll see a pause between, say, about 2 and 4. And then we'll see redevelopment, mainly on the Missouri side, and these storms could be strong to severe as well, but they are out of here just after, say, 7 o'clock or so. So again, and they're isolated. As you see with that second round, nobody out west sees anything. You're clear, you're warm, you're dry, that's it. But out in Missouri, the second round could bring additional strong to severe thunderstorms out there. Temperatures around the area, they're not necessarily impressive, but take a look. Neodesha, Parsons, Chautauqua warming up. 5 degrees, 6 degrees within the last hour. Temperatures further north still in the low 60s, and out in Missouri, we're starting to warm up as well. We're seeing more mid-upper 60s, and take a look at Veneta, now up to 71. We have a lot of moisture, a lot of instability being pulled in with these gusty winds out there, and that's what's going to fuel these storms for us through the morning. So scattered thunderstorms, breezy, southeast winds eventually shifting out of the southwest, gusting to 30, and we'll make it to about 75 by 11 o'clock. Heading into the afternoon, highs right around 80. We'll have that pause and then redevelopment mainly on the Missouri side late this afternoon into the early evening. And then once that's out of here again by about 7 o'clock, we clear out, and we're clear tonight back into the low 50s, maybe some upper 40s, so a bit of a chilly night. However, we do get an opportunity to dry out heading into the weekend, maybe a stray shower or two on Sunday, and then more thunderstorm chances next week. But of course, we'll continue to watch for additional development of thunderstorms across southeast Kansas this morning, and we'll bring you any of the latest watches or warnings. That's a check of your forecast. Now here's Elise with Health Watch.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, attempts to be a perfect parent are unattainable and lead to unhealthy impacts on both children and adults. As according to a survey of more than 700 parents by the Ohio State University College of Nursing, they found parents' burnout is strongly associated with internal and external expectations, while children whose parents spend more free, unstructured time with them had fewer mental health issues. Artificial intelligence may be able to help hospitals handle overcrowded emergency rooms. A study from UC San Francisco found AI is as good as a physician at prioritizing which patients need to be seen first. Researchers say using AI during triage can help free up critical time for a doctor to treat patients. And Stanford University researchers are taking a closer look at mucus to better diagnose illnesses. They developed mucus-producing intestinal cells in a lab that can be used to simulate infections and treatment. They say this process is easier, more accurate, and more humane than extracting mucus during animal testing. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back.
Sonic Crispy Tender Wraps.
Right now at 6:30, a serious head-on crash takes the life of a Carthage resident.
And we have an alert day today. More strong to severe thunderstorms possible this morning, and then more isolated storms possible this afternoon. We'll take a look at that forecast coming up.
The Joplin School District issues a news release explaining the actions the district took Monday night to open safe rooms.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:31. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. So we have an alert day today.
Yes.
More strong to severe thunderstorms out there. That is not the news any of you folks want to hear.
No.
Especially as you continue with cleanup efforts.
Right.
But unfortunately, it's the news I've got to give you. Let's start with a look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker. So we've had these showers flaring up pretty quickly across southeastern Kansas. Instability has increased rather significantly out there within the last couple of hours. And we are seeing these storms begin to develop. So we had this storm no longer severe at this point, but this is impressive. This large storm that you're seeing here started as a little shower at about 5:30 in Anderson County, and it flared up very quickly. The other concern we have is the additional showers here, as you can see, flaring up quickly near Moran. We've got another one now flaring up in Bourbon County. Not severe or anything at this point, but they're going to be in that environment where they could become strong to severe rather rapidly out there. And we're expecting additional development across southeastern Kansas. In fact, we're anticipating a severe weather watch of some sort, possibly for some of our northern counties within the next hour or so. We'll bring that to you once it comes out. Of course, we'll bring any additional warnings, but take a look at how quickly this is all flaring up out there, and we're going to see more development as we go through the morning hours. With that, we do have that attendant threat for severe weather. Unfortunately, it does include a low to elevated tornado threat out there with the greater chances into southwestern Missouri. We have an elevated to enhanced hail and wind risk, and these hash marks going back into Kansas and all across Missouri and into northeastern Oklahoma, also indicating the possibility of very large hail, 2 inches in diameter or greater. And with the wind risk, these hash marks in Missouri indicating the possibility of winds 75 miles an hour or greater as well. So we'll continue to monitor these storms as we go through the morning, bringing the latest watches and warnings as they come in. Right now, we're in the low 60s across southeast Kansas, but temperatures beginning to warm out there with this southeasterly breeze. And we've got this upper level disturbance that's going to be bringing in the instability, the fuel for these thunderstorms as we go through the morning hours. Kids getting on the bus, we're expecting a few more scattered storms by 7. 67 south breeze 10 to 20 miles an hour. And it'll be switching out of the southwest later. We'll have a pause in activity this afternoon. So partly cloudy, 77 gusts to 30 when the bus brings them home. And then mainly into Missouri, some additional development between 4 and 6 could be strong to severe as well out there, and then that'll move out and we'll clear out this evening. Our highs today, upper 70s, once again near 80 degrees. Again, we'll continue to watch these showers and storms in southeast Kansas and bring you the latest as they develop through the morning. Elise?
We'll check in with you soon, Chris. Well, authorities make an arrest in a gunfire incident in Parsons yesterday morning. Parsons Police Department responded to that call in the 3100 block of Crawford Avenue. According to the report, the incident occurred after an altercation between a Parsons resident and a Pittsburgh man. The Pittsburgh man ran away following the gunshot. Parsons police say they found him in Pittsburgh with the help of Pittsburgh police, and he was arrested by Parsons officers. Formal charges are pending. Well, Tuesday evening, a serious head-on crash occurred in Carthage on River Street. Deputy Sergeant Aaron Kamick tells KOAM a white passenger car crossed the center of the roadway and struck an oncoming SUV. Both the drivers were rushed to area hospitals and one did not survive. Carthage police utilized drone technology for crash mapping reconstruction as part of their investigation. Next of kin have been notified, and we anticipate an update from Carthage police later today. The Joplin School District yesterday issued a news release explaining the actions the district took Monday night to open safe rooms. The district says safe rooms around the district opened automatically at 11 to 16 p.m. in a response to a tornado warning in the county. However, the safe room for Joplin High School did not open at that time, apparently because of a malfunction. A safe room supervisor manually unlocked that door at 11:22 p.m. You can find the district's entire news release, including the current policy, and on our website, KOAM News Update. KOAM News Now. Well, district drivers headed down Connecticut Avenue in Joplin should look for a detour in the coming days. Crews yesterday closed Connecticut Avenue to traffic between 33rd and 36th Street to install multiple stormwater crossings beneath the road. The road will be opened at the end of each workday, and the closure will resume each morning. Work is expected to last through the end of the week. And let's look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. TikTok is suing the federal government to block a law that would force a nationwide ban. And we're tracking thunderstorms for today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
For quick, proven pest solutions, call Rattler.
In Consumer Watch this morning, cyber attacks are becoming more common. Experts say strong passwords can protect you, but many of us don't follow that advice, as Christine Lazar explains.
Passwords have become a way of life in the digital era, and they can be a real pain.
Admittedly, passwords are really hard, and people need a lot more of them than they would think.
Because of that, many people reuse them. In a new survey, 24% admit using the same passwords across multiple accounts.
I'm ashamed to say my password is pretty similar for most of my things.
I repeat them all the time.
And why do you do that?
Probably out of laziness and just because I don't remember them.
Do you worry at all about security?
Not enough to change them, clearly.
All of your passwords need to be long, unique, and random. We're talking 12, 16 characters.
CNET cybersecurity writer Bree Fowler admits it's hard to keep track of unique passwords. 35% of people say they remember their passwords by writing them down on a piece of paper. But there may be a better way.
A password manager can be really helpful.
CNET recommends several password managers. Their top overall pick is called Bitwarden.
They have a really great free tier. You only have to remember one password, and that'll unlock all of your passwords and autofill them.
Fowler says even with that step, you should also use two-factor authentication whenever possible.
What two-factor does is require a second form of authentication in addition to your password.
Sites will often text you a secondary code to make sure you're you and not a hacker. Christine Lazar, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Well, TikTok is suing the federal government to block a law that would force a nationwide ban of the video sharing app. It sets up a legal battle pitting national security concerns against the free speech rights of TikTok users in the U.S. If TikTok loses, it could be kicked out of app stores unless its Chinese parent company sells within a year. Panera Bread says it's phasing out its charged sips caffeinated drinks amid lawsuits alleging that the beverages caused 2 cardiac-related deaths. Another lawsuit alleges the company's charged lemonade left a customer with long-term heart problems. Panera has not commented on the pending lawsuits. Its website says the charged beverages have up to 302 milligrams of caffeine and that they are not for children, people sensitive to caffeine, or women who are pregnant or nursing. And grocery delivery app Instacart and Uber Eats are joining forces to bring restaurant deliveries to Instacart customers. Soon, users will be able to go to the Instacart app and order from thousands of dining chains using the Restaurants tab. Uber Eats couriers will then deliver those orders. And that's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Yeah, we do have more thunderstorms developing. Take a look at that thunderstorm into Bourbon County now. It has really gone up here in the last few minutes. We back this up and you can see this is what we're talking about. The environment is very favorable for rapid thunderstorm development and rapid intensification out there. And we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning just clipping the northwestern portion of Bates County. That will run until 7:15 this morning. And that is going to be for 60-mile-an-hour winds and $half size hail. And so the core of this storm is right here. That's where that larger hail is going to be. And we're going to continue to monitor the area for additional thunderstorm development out there. So take a look at how quick this is all going up. Instability increasing across the area rather rapidly this morning, and thunderstorm coverage expected to increase rather rapidly across southeastern Kansas. And we do have that risk for all severe hazards out there as we go through the morning hours. We do have a low to elevated tornado risk out there. We have an elevated to enhanced hail and wind risk with the potential for very large hail and very strong damaging winds out there as well. Temperatures around the area, we're into the 60s. Now we're up to 71 in Veneta out there. We're bringing in this instability with these southeast winds out there, and we're going to continue to see instability increasing and thunderstorms increase, and they could become strong to severe rather rapidly. So we're expecting more scattered storms by the time the kids get on the bus. 67 south breeze, 10 to 20, and then switching out of the southwest later. We'll have a pause before we see a round 2 of storms later this afternoon, and those winds gusting up to 30. We're going to have more on our severe threat for today and what happens after these storms clear out, and we're going to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries here in just a moment. But first, here's what's happening on CBS Mornings.
Hello to you, I'm Gail King. Coming up on CBS Mornings, are you financially ready for retirement? That's the question. Jill Schlesinger will be here to make sure you can enjoy your golden years. I say, can we please just make it to the golden years? That's coming right up on CBS Mornings.
All right, time for some Wednesday birthdays here in the 4 states. We're starting in Jasper with Pike Lyle Storm celebrating birthday number 7. It says, Pike Man, the family loves you. Happy birthday.
And happy 9th birthday to Harper Custer from Miami. It says she's a 3rd grader at Alexander Elementary in Commerce. Happy birthday from Mom and Dad, Jaden, Maddox, and the rest of the family.
And in Columbus, Kyler Beard celebrating birthday number 16. Happy birthday, Kyler.
And a happy 18th birthday to Nathan West in Webb City. It says happy birthday from your mom and sister.
And Dustin Gooding in Chanute celebrating birthday number 29. A very happy birthday to you, Dustin.
And happy birthday to Bob Price over in Columbus.
Also in Columbus, where the party is today, Joyce Holman celebrating another year wiser. Happy birthday, Joyce.
And Jack and Judy Freeman from Pittsburgh are celebrating their 32nd anniversary. Happy anniversary, you two.
Also celebrating an anniversary, Terry and Robin Town. This is their 10th year of wedded bliss. A very happy anniversary to the Towns.
And a happy birthday to Jana Thomas in Joplin.
All right, another fantastic list of birthdays and anniversaries. And of course, if you would like to celebrate with us, Elise has all that information for you.
Yes, go ahead and submit those birthdays and anniversaries to birthdays at KOAMnewsnow.com. Be sure to include those birthday messages and any photos you so desire to meet the deadline that you see there at the bottom of your screen.
All right, let's take a look at our severe threat for today. We're going to start with the Skywatch Storm Tracker. As you can see, we've got that one severe thunderstorm warning now up in Bates County, but look at these thunderstorms continuing to develop across the area. So let's start with this cell in Bourbon County. It is not strong nor severe at this time, but as we saw with that other cell, it could rapidly become that way. So if you're in Fort Scott, Uniontown, Freedom, Bourbon County, and as this continues to lift off to the northeast, eventually into Howard, Rich Hill, Metz, just north of Nevada, you want to keep an eye on this as it could intensify rather quickly. Heading north into Lynn County, we've got this thunderstorm, not severe at this point, but a lot of heavy rain with this thing just to the north of Mound City. And then this severe thunderstorm warning clipping northwestern Bates County. This is for 60-mile-an-hour winds and half-dollar size hail with this storm. And this one is a fantastic example of how quickly things could develop this morning. So take a look at that big cluster of thunderstorm there that's just south of Kansas City. And if we advance this to the right radar screen here, there we go, and we can back this up just a little over an hour ago. It was simply a little shower southwest of Garnett, and it very rapidly flared up, and that's been the case even with this Bourbon County storm just within the last 20 minutes or so. And we're going to continue to see that be a possibility as we go through the morning hours out there. Showers, thunderstorms expected to develop rather rapidly across southeastern Kansas. They'll intensify rapidly as well, and we do have that threat for strong to severe thunderstorms through the morning hours also. We do have a low to elevated tornado threat with the enhanced area barely clipping Dade County. Hopefully it stays that way. We don't want to see any of this backed up across the area. We also have the elevated to enhanced wind and hail risks. These hash marks indicating the possibility of very large hail, 2 inches in diameter or greater, and these hash marks indicating the possibility of winds 75 miles an hour or greater. And we're also looking at 2 rounds of strong to severe thunderstorms. This first round is scattered and will continue through the morning and into the early afternoon before it begins to die out. Then we'll have a brief pause in activity, and then by about 3:30, 4 o'clock, we'll see additional development. Now, round 2 is expected to be a little more isolated in our area and be mostly into southwest Missouri, but these storms that develop again later this afternoon into the early evening could be strong to severe. So Lamar, just north of Joplin, going into Stockton, could see additional strong to severe thunderstorms, and by about 7, they're out of here. Now, with that second round, as you saw as well, the majority of us will remain dry and will remain clear, but we could see the additional development across Missouri later this afternoon. But right now, our first focus is on these storms that are expected to continue to develop across southeastern Kansas. We have good southeast winds in here, got an upper level disturbance. That's what's bringing in all this instability, all this moisture. Instability levels have really shot up in the last about 3 hours or so across southeast Kansas. That's why these showers, as they flare up, are intensifying rather rapidly out there. Temperature is warming. We're low 60s up into the north, but Parsons now, Neodesha up to 65, 68, Chetopa, Miami, 71, Veneta, and we're starting to see more upper 60s across parts of southwest Missouri out there as well. As we get the morning started, Scattered showers and thunderstorms across the area, and these will continue with us again until about noon, 1 o'clock before they die out and move out of the area. And 75 as we head into the late morning hours, as we head into the afternoon. Again, we'll have that pause roughly between about, say, 2 and 4 this afternoon, and then we'll see that additional development mainly in the southwestern Missouri. Our highs today, upper 70s near 80, and we're also going to be dealing with southwest winds gusting upwards of 30 miles an hour. So I know for those folks who are still doing cleanup out there, more severe weather, more thunderstorms, more rain in general is not what you need, but unfortunately, at least for some of us, that's what we may see as we head through the morning and into the afternoon. We'll have another look at your forecast and news you need to know here in just a moment. And when we make the switch over to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., the country's erratic weather has sparked some concerns for farmers. We're going to learn how our current weather could affect produce sales.
A four-state hero.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. An EF4 tornado leveled the town of Barnsdall, Oklahoma Monday night. At least one person is dead and at least 8 others are injured. 30 to 40 homes were damaged and about 24 people were left without shelter. Downed power lines, a gas leak, and debris are making roadways dangerous. Monday night's tornado was the second Barnsdall has seen in just over a month. Parsons authorities make an arrest in a gunfire incident in Parsons yesterday morning. According to the report, the incident occurred after an altercation between a Parsons resident and a Pittsburgh man. The Pittsburgh man ran away following the gunshot, and Parsons police say they found him in Pittsburgh with the help of Pittsburgh police. He was arrested by Parsons officers and formal charges are pending. Drivers headed down Connecticut Avenue in Joplin should look for a detour in the coming days. Yesterday, crews closed Connecticut Avenue to traffic between 33rd and 36th Streets to install stormwater crossings beneath the road. The road will be open at the end of each workday, and the closure will resume each morning. Work is expected to last through the end of the week. And that's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
All right, and as mentioned, we were expecting a severe weather watch, and that is what we've got. A severe thunderstorm watch going into Lynn, Bourbon, and Crawford counties in southeast Kansas, and then the north portions of southwestern Missouri out there. And this will run until 2 o'clock. Now, again, the only warning we have is for northwestern Bates County with that thunderstorm as it continues to lift off to the northeast. But we're keeping an eye on potential development. We're watching this cell here in Bourbon County. Not strong or severe at this point, but we're in an environment, we're in an atmosphere in which these storms could intensify rather quickly, and we are expecting more development across parts of southeast Kansas as we go through the morning hours. And again, we do have the elevated tornado threat out there. We have an elevated to enhanced hail and wind risk and possibilities for significant hail and potentially winds in excess of 75 miles an hour with some of these storms. So an alert day today, scattered storms, a high around 80. We'll clear out heading into the weekend. Few showers Sunday, more storms by next week. So a lot to keep an eye on.
Absolutely. Thanks, Chris. Well, coming up today at noon, we're making the world's best Western omelet in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. The feud between rap superstars Drake and Kendrick Lamar is one of the biggest trending topics online. Ahead on CBS Mornings, an R&B and hip-hop expert discusses why it's happening and its impact on pop culture.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, Shane Spears joins us in the studio to talk about the Spring River Pioneer Days.
And Catherine Pinto also joins us in the studio for another Wildcat Wednesday. However, it's going to wrap it up for us for now. We'll continue to track these storms through the morning, and we'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.